Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Deepa Robbins from DeeZinesByD and today I have another Make the Card Challenge post for you. So this one is ink blended Halloween backgrounds, one in particular that I'm going to show you. And today's challenge is a Halloween Witch Challenge. Now, I'm not really much of a Halloween card crafter. I really don't have any of the products, and this is kind of outside of my realm of crafting. So this is why I like challenges, because they kind of take you out of your comfort zone, and it might even enlighten you to certain types of projects or themes that you might want to do in the future. So as I said, this one is a Halloween Witch Challenge. Head on over to www.makethecardschallenge.com and check out all of the designer inspiration, and go ahead and link up one of the cards of your own to be featured as the card challenge winner for this week. So I'm going to start with my ink blended background. I find that a nice blended background makes a really nice Halloween card. It kind of sets the mood for the rest of the items that you're going to place on your card. So I started off with a nice purple wilted violet, and I decided to use oxide inks because I find that the color spreads nicely and they blend very nicely. And I mean, you could always use the actual distress inks too, because they also create a nice deep vibrant color for you. So I'm kind of going over the wilted violet again after I've added the blueprint sketch, and this is what helps you blend out your background. So you put down your one color, you put down your second color, and then you go back to your number one color and you help blend out the second. Then you put down your third color, and then you go back to color number two to blend out the third, and so on and so forth with all the different colors that you might be adding. Now I chose to use 4 colors. I used the wilted violet, the blueprint sketch, the chipped sapphire, and this black soot. And the black soot just adds a bit of of that darker tone to the edges of the card. I find that this really helps me create that kind of spooky, eerie type background for Halloween. And as you can see, I actually have a piece of tape on my hand, and that just helps me protect my hand from the coloring, and also prevents my my ink panel from being smudged up. So now I want to show you how to create your own stencil. So a lot of people have those cloud stencils, but I don't. So all I'm doing is I'm taking a nice thick piece of cardstock, and I'm cutting my own little waves in it to create like a cloud image or stencil. So I will use this piece of cardstock as my own makeshift stencil, along with the Hero Arts Unicorn pigment ink. Now, I have to give credit where credit's due. I saw this technique used by Nicole Spohr. I watch a lot of her videos, and I thought that this was really, really cool for making clouds in the background of your ink blended cards. So you can see that effect once you lift the stencil. It looks like nothing at first while you're adding that white pigment ink along the edge, but once you actually remove the stencil, you see such a nice effect. And now remove it. Oh my god, that looks so nice. Now, I do want to mention you have to kind of move your stencil around, tilt it left and right, flip it so that you get a different look of the clouds. Otherwise, you're just going to get the same kind of image going up and down your page, and it's going to look a bit too repetitive. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to add a bit of variation to my my stencil, or my makeshift stencil. Now I'm going to use this set from Simon Says Stamp, Slimline Greetings. This was out, I think, last year. And I noticed it has like a ton of cool sentiments in it to use throughout the year. So this happy Halloween sentiment I thought was perfect. And I'm just going to do some plain stamping with some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. Now I'm actually going to ink this up as best I can. And I'm going to make sure I get a nice black solid sentiment. So I will ink this up and stamp it a couple times. This is where your stamp positioner comes in handy, so you can do that kind of double or triple inking to stamp out your image and create a nice, crisp, deeply colored sentiment here. So then I'm going to move on to my little featured elements. I'm using this Sizzix Frightful Things dies from Tim Holtz. I'm going to admit I bought this set especially for this card because, as I told you, I really have no Halloween sets at all. It actually surprised me when I looked through my stash and was like, oh my god, I have nothing. I don't make any Halloween cards. You know, maybe this is something I might want to try doing. And my card is like a bit I don't know, pretty simple, I would say. But I mean, what you want to do is completely up to you. And I do like the inked background, so maybe this is something I might want to do in future. So now I've actually stuck my die cuts back into the negative space, and I find this makes it easier for me to color them right to the edge, and especially with ink blending, it just makes it less finicky. Your die cut image is less likely to crimple or fold while you're coloring. And I used just basically a bit of washi tape on the back to kind of stick that in place. And now I'm using my Copic Chow markers, and I listed the colors in the corner. You can kind of go back and check if you want to see which colors I used. I'm mainly using black, and I'm using these purples to kind of create like the shine, or, you know, the highlight of the black. And that purple just kind of, it matches the Halloween theme. It matches, like, normally I would use a blue to be the highlight color for black, and you could use a blue here too, but I just chose the purple to kind of fit in with the witch theme. The purple and green, you know, that tends to go together. And then I use those nice greens to do the little pattern on the socks. And then I'm just going to color in the little dress here. So there is no actual witch face in my card, but I'm making the bottom half of the witch and the little hat around my sentiment. That's going to be my little Halloween witch for this card. So it looks like a complete mess as I'm coloring here, and that's because I'm able to scribble outside of the edges, but once you take this out of the negative space, it's going to look really nice. Like, there you go. There's a total image. It looks really cool now. And just by putting it in that negative space, it just helped me color it. Like, I always like doing that, so don't always throw that away. Sometimes you might need them. Now, to make this hat a little bit more eerie, I added this twisted citron oxide ink to the edges. I chose to use the oxide because it needs to show up on the black. The distress ink is not going to show up because it is a dye ink. It will just soak through your cardstock. So these are my two little witch pieces. And then I decided I need like a little more on my card, so I went and I cut out the pumpkin as well. So this is nice. It has like a black background, and you just kind of stick your orange on top. I think this is one change I would make. If I had the chance, I would have actually used a bit of brown to highlight the edges of that pumpkin, but I think I was a little bit in a rush because, I mean, it's been such a crazy weekend with Thanksgiving and everything. So I kind of had to do this as best I could in a small amount of time. Now I have this Artist Tack permanent dry adhesive. I love this. Like, there's some days I want to sit there and I want to stick the glue on the little areas of my die cuts, and there's some days I just don't have the patience or time. So this is really cool because you just stick your die cut in between the sheets and you press it down. It picks up the adhesive, and then it just becomes like a sticker, and you just stick it down wherever you want it to go. If you're really paranoid on making sure your stuff sticks down, all you have to do is kind of turn your panel upside down and burnish it in to make sure it's not going to move again, and it works totally fine. And then I'll just stick my little pumpkin on here, which adds that little bit of orange, so it kind of lightens up the card just a little bit. So now I want to make the little string for the spider to hang from. So I'm using my Pigma Micron pen. This is an archival pen, so it works like your inks. And then I'm using my Jelly Roll pen to add some highlights. This is a lot of dark color, so I need to kind of add a bit of the white to kind of just help highlight the images that I have there. And as you can see, it adds a bit of dimension and a bit of interest to your card. And I especially like it on the spider web because I feel like it creates that little bit of shine that you kind of see when the light hits those webs. And so I think this is like a really cool feature to add to any type of spider web that you may be adding to any of your cards. Now I have to embellish this. I'm using the Pinkbrush Studio Stargazer Jewels, and these are perfect because they're actually black and they have like a black shimmer or shine on top of them. Sorry, not a black shimmer, but a blue shimmer. So they actually shine blue, and this works really nice with my background. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. This works really nice with my background. I guess you could call it a black round considering the black on the edges. But anyways, I'll just use those to kind of just bling it up a little. And finally, I will just attach my panel to my card base. Now, I kind of skipped the inside of the card this time, but if I was going to do it, I'd probably maybe put a little, that same pumpkin on the inside of the card and highlight it with a bit of ink blending, and then maybe have the spider web and the spider hang a little bit lower, or like from the top of the card all the way down to the bottom. And then I just add a sentiment. But I didn't do that today because I felt like I just wanted to highlight the front of the card here. So I'm using this lime green stickles. This is another cool effect that you could do. I'm basically adding it to the edges of my letters to kind of act as like a green slime or like a Halloween kind of goo that just, kind of oozes from the letters, and I thought this just added a bit more to the Halloween theme of this card. And it also, like I said, it adds a bit more shine and lightens the card up just a little bit because, as I said, it is pretty dark, all the colors that I used here. So this just, kind of hangs from each little corner and little crevice, and this also kind of adds a bit of a shadow and it highlights my sentiment as well. So this is my final card for you. This is actually probably one of the first Halloween cards that I've ever made because I really I don't do them. I don't have anyone to give them to, and that's why. I know there are some people out there that make really cool Halloween cards, and I actually recommend looking at the rest of the designers' inspiration to kind of just get your mojo going. Go ahead and visit the blog and link up your own cards so we can see your beautiful creations. And as I said, we will be choosing a winner for this week, and your card will be featured on the blog. So I hope that you guys have been inspired to go ahead and create your own Halloween witch card for this Make the Cards challenge. And I hope to see you again next time. As always, if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. And maybe you want to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell to be notified of any more videos that I do post, and I do post on a regular basis. And I mean, if you get a chance, check out my blog. All of the supplies that I've used are linked there with a ton more inspiration. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you go ahead and join the challenge. Have a great day, guys. Bye.